Okay, yeah. So social currency is a term that I was not familiar with. So I'm going to start by basically just breaking down what it even is. So Berger says that just like we use money to purchase products or items, things like that, people use social currency to achieve a desired positive impressions among their families, friends, and colleagues. So what companies need to be doing, they need to give their customers a way to make themselves look good when they're talking to their friends, while at the same time promoting your brand and products. So he suggests a couple different ways that we can kind of give social currency to our customers. The first is to find the inner remarkability of your product or service, which honestly, at first when I read it, I thought felt kind of vague. Like we all think that our product is good, but what is inner remarkability? But he mentions that every industry has their own expectations. Customers sense a pattern when they're in that industry of the way that they're going to be treated, what the experience is going to be like. So if you defy those expectations or you break that pattern, you're going to actually be surprising people and they're going to be really impressed and they're going to want to tell their friends.
Well, I was just thinking of this exact principle the other day, and my wife, Annie, she's the best. And she almost every day of her life is giving an Amazon commercial at our house of why she loves Amazon. And so I've kind of become accustomed to it and kind of callous to it. But just a couple of days ago, she's like, Todd, seriously, Amazon's the best. Let me tell you why. And it turns out, like in our area, it's like tip culture is everywhere. They're asking you to tip for everything, every restaurant you go to, every service. They're like, how much do you want to tip? And so we're just tipping all the time. Well, Annie gets her package and then she looks on her phone and it says, and it was asking for another tip. And at first she's rolling her eyes and she's like, oh no, another place where I've got a tip now is our delivery driver. But instead it says, we at Amazon will tip this driver and will cover the cost to help them through the holidays. And she was so excited. She told me that day. I heard her tell her sister over the phone that day. This is something Amazon was doing to just be remarkable. And we use that phrase all the time, but it's literally being like doing something that is worthy of remark. And so anyway, it stood out against the industry expectation and created some word of mouth.
That's super cool because, like you said, Amazon totally broke that expectation. She was not expecting them to offer to pay the tip. And so, yeah, she's going to share that because it surprised her. So I think that's really cool. The next thing that Berger suggests that we can do to give that social currency to our customers, get them to talk about us, is leverage game mechanics. So this means giving customers points, encouraging them to earn a status, anything that feels like a game where you're earning something, you're advancing. And the reason this works is because people want to brag about themselves. They want to brag, even if it's a humble brag, to their family and friends. And I think a really great example of this is with airlines. I mean, they're encouraging you to advance in a status, and you do that by earning miles or points. And I think it's kind of funny because my dad actually, he just got a new job and he switched airlines because he flies a lot and they encouraged him to switch an airline. And now, because he has flown so much for his job, he's slowly earned these miles and these points. And he is at whatever the top tier is of his airline. And he loves to talk about it. And I don't think you would naturally say he's bragging about it, but he just loves his company and he loves the airline that he flies with. And he loves that because he earned miles, he's kind of in this top status. So it really is these game mechanics, I think, that have made him want to tell us about it. Anyways, I just think it's really fun. The last suggestion that Berger gives is to make someone feel like an insider. So you want your product or your service to feel exclusive. You want somebody to be proud that they know information or that they have your product because nobody else does. And so they want to share that knowledge that they have or whatever makes them feel like they're exclusive, like they're the insider.
I've got a perfect example for this, Tori. So I love my Nikes. And I was watching on Instagram a video of a guy that did exactly this. He says, do you know that your Nikes have either a 30 or a 60-day return policy? And he says, but there is actually a hidden place on their site in their help center where you can go in up to 2 years. Like, this tip that he was about to give made me feel like an insider. And here I am sharing it right now. So the listener now, I'm giving you actual inside information. He said, if you look on the tongue of your Nike, it will have a manufacturer's date. If you're within 2 years of that manufacturer's date, you can actually file a claim with Nike and say they've had some unusual wear or tear, they're dysfunctional for any reason, and you can actually send them in and get a voucher for brand new Nikes. I literally did that with a 1.5 year old pair of running shoes, sent them in, and they just sent me a voucher. And here I am now talking about it because I felt like I had insider information. So that absolutely works.